Welcome to ShowerDoorHelp.com. I'm Richard, and I'm here to help you with some shower doors. Hello, everybody. This is Richard at ShowerDoorHelp.com. This is a viewer in a commenter's inspired video. So basically, what happens if your door has sagged out of the hinges and now it won't close because it's hitting the inline panel or it's hitting the wall? So you can see on the other side here, you see that big gap. This was actually done on purpose, but you can kind of see the glass has slipped out of the hinge. Now the door is sagged, so it's not lining up. So how do you go ahead and fix that? I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to do it. I'm gonna explain it to you because it's really hard to do these inside of a shower. But you see the two screws right there, and then the two screws down there. Basically, those need to be loosened because this is a hinge plate. This hinge plate right here is what holds the glass in the hinge. When you tighten it down, the friction and the pressure of that hinge plate closed will hold the glass. So what happens is that glass slips out of that hinge. So what you need here to do this, you're going to need your wrenches or your screwdriver to get those screws loosened up. You need some shims for underneath the door, and then that sweep that's on the bottom of the door, take that off. This is just a sample of it, but basically we're going to need this as well. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it from inside the shower and film it from out. That way you can see kind of what's going on, because there's no room in there for me and the camera at the same time. So, all right, let's do this. All right, hope y'all can see me and hear me okay. And basically, you're gonna wanna be in the shower, and you're gonna wanna take your shims. Sometimes it's gonna take more than a couple of shims. Ranger, you can do this. So anyway, you take your shims, and you wanna put them under the door. And then you got to loosen up this hinge because the reason the hinge moved is because it was not because it was necessarily loose enough to move the door, but just so you go ahead and loosen it up some more after you get the shims under the door. Loosen those screws up, and then you want to go ahead and put the door back in place by pushing the shims under the door. Once you get that done, you're going to want to have this inside the shower with you, the sweep that came off the bottom of the door. Go ahead and put that over the top of the door. That way it holds the door in place while you adjust it. So what I use, I have a specialty little pry bar here that I put tape over. And I put that under the door, and I raise that as I push the shims under the door. What I want to do is find that this is lined up parallel. The top of the door is even with itself. And then, if you want, you can go ahead and tap the door over a little bit. Make this about 1/8 of an inch gap if you have it. And that at about 1/8 of an inch gap. That's ideal. That's typically what we're looking for. So on this, it's about 1/8 here and it's touching down there. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to raise this other side up. Scoot it over a little bit. Now I got an even 1/8 of an inch all the way up and down. So once I get that done, go ahead and tighten these screws back down. Let's go ahead and crank them down. Okay, got them all cranked down. Take your sleeve off. Open your door. Remove your shims. Now she's all back to normal, or the way she's supposed to be. So anyway, that's how you that's how you go ahead and you adjust the shower door that's sagging. So hopefully that helps you out, saves you a few $100 on a service charge. So right on, have a good day. So I figured I'd make a quick video here. I had somebody asking me what's the deal. I think what's going on is they said they loosened up the screws here inside the shower, and it does not appear that the hinge wants to loosen up the hinge plate. So when he loosens it, the plates seem to be stuck to the glass, or the hinge seems to be stuck to the glass. That could be sometimes hinges actually, if they're sticking to the glass, the glass isn't really likely to do any slipping, so you shouldn't need to adjust it. But sometimes when you take your when you loosen it up, this rubber gasket can be stuck to the glass here, and it also could be touching there because it slipped down and it's actually rubbing right there. It's hard to say, really. I mean, if the glass is stuck to the hinges, he did say he had somebody come out and do an adjustment on it. The people that put it in, they did an adjustment the first time for him, and then it slipped again, which more than likely is because the hinges are using rubber gaskets, or they're just not very good hinges. But it's very possible that when they did come out to do a repair on it, they used some kind of glue, maybe an epoxy, to actually glue the hinge to the glass. And but it's really strange that it's slipping now, so it's really hard to say. Sounds like a problem that I don't know if I have a solution for, unless I went out and actually physically looked at it. But sometimes when I loosen the hinges up and then the plate doesn't want to come off, I can take a I mean, be careful doing this, but you can actually take a pry bar and put it in there and kind of pop the door loose of the hinges. I've done that before and just went like that and it popped it right off. So that's a possibility. You'd have to do it on the inside and outside. Just be careful. And if it's glued, I mean, you don't want to force it too much. So, and you might end up breaking something. So be careful and good luck.